What's up, lead dwellers? This is Dr. Francis Espinola, lead physical therapist for First Shepherd Therapy and Healthcare Staffing. How are you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. And before everything else, if you're watching live, please comment lead, LEAD. And if you're watching replay, please comment WELL. I would like to thank our major sponsors for Shepherd Therapy and Healthcare Staffing, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, reaching out to your homes for physical and occupational therapy in the Dallas Fort Worth region. Here's our contact number. All right. And by the way, if you want to also check this website out, we just launched this past week, drfrancisdpt.com. If you're thinking about a big move with your career as a physical therapist or any rehab professional for the year 2022, check this link out. And if you want to reach out to me, my friends, in Facebook, it's at drfrancisdpt. I'm also active on Instagram and Twitter, dr_francisdpt. Hi, all. Okay. So, we are here, and if you want to comment while I'm doing this podcast, please feel free to do so, and we can greet you and shout you out in this episode. All right. So, before we jump into our topic today, let's have our weekly wellness tip. So, I'm going down to more of a physical therapy routine. This is part of what we call a pulmonary rehab. And with the rise of the pandemic, this has been a very useful tool for my physical therapy practice to help patients that are having shortness of breath. It's also what I found out, it's actually also effective for patients that are running um, high on their blood pressure before doing physical therapy or even exercise. So pursed lip breathing is a way for you to um, bring in more oxygen to your lungs and get out some carbon dioxide, which are the waste products in your lungs, more out. So more of what you need in and more of what you need out of your lungs. So we're going to be practical today. So how do you do a pursed lip breathing? It's very simple. So you want to make sure that you're contracting your diaphragm muscle right here on your abdomen. I don't have a six pack, but I have probably a dad bod. But let's use our diaphragm, okay? Or so I'm going back serious now. Okay, so what you do is you breathe in, hold for about 2 seconds, 1, 2, and breathe out and count 4 seconds. Let's do that again. Breathe in 2 seconds, breathe out 4 seconds. And the ratio of it is 1:2. So if you want to breathe in for 4 seconds, you need to breathe out for 8 seconds. And I usually tell my patients, do this for the next 5 minutes, then I'll check your blood pressure again. Most of my patients somehow brings their blood pressure to about 20 points lower. And it's really helping me to resume some light exercises with them instead of, you know, calling off the whole therapy session. Plus, it's also good for your breathing, especially if you're coming off from pneumonia or any other lung issues. Sounds good? That's your pursed lip breathing, my friends. Very simple, but very effective. Okay. So, going back to our series, Leading Well in a Hopeless Situation, during the week, I was pondering to do this session for the employee. Okay. But just because it's a very vast subject about leading well in a hopeless situation for the employee, I like to put it in 2 to 3 parts at least, so that the quality of the conversation or the content that I'm giving you now is, will be applicable for your everyday practice, not just for physical therapy, to be honest, but really, a day-to-day life. Because think about it, you are spending 40 plus hours in your workplace or doing your work. Might as well know and have a good content for this series about the employee, so that it will add value to your work. All right, so let's jump in. I have 3 questions for the employee in a hopeless situation. Okay, tell me if any one of you can relate to these questions. I just have 3. Number 1, are you an employee that feels burned out on your job? Okay, if you're watching replay or even live, just say like a hand raise or a thumbs up with that question. Okay. Number 2, have you moved to at least 3 to 5 different jobs in the past 2 years? I'll give you a second to ponder about that. Have you moved for at least 3 to 5 jobs in the past 2 years? Okay. And number 3, do you not get along with your supervisor most of the time? I repeat, do you not get along with your supervisor most of the time? Think about it. Okay. I have good news for you. If you got like 3 out of 3, I have good news for you. You're not alone. Yes, because to be honest, honestly speaking, yours truly strike out on those questions 3 out of 3 times. Okay. So I'm just laughing at myself. They say, boast about your weaknesses. So, are you an employee that feels burnout on your job? Yes. I posted, I think, on one Facebook group that I've joined in. Who among you, like there are 35,000 members in it, who among you cannot stay on a current setting or an employment for not more than 2 years? And guess what? I'll probably have some 150 likes on there. So, meaning I am not alone. That's comforting, right? So, meaning the word that says that if you are switching from 3 to 5 different jobs in a short span of time, it's probably an evidence that working for someone else might not be your jam or what is fit for you. And of course, if you don't like what you're doing, it will lead to burnout. And that's what I usually feel. If not per se, because I love treating my patients, but it's just that the pressure, the everyday pressure of always making sure that you hit your productivity, the expectations, plus you have last minute things that your supervisor wants you to do. I have a situation that I was treating a patient at 11 o'clock. And then while I'm treating the patient, my supervisor called me and they want a certain documentation due at 11:30. And I'm treating my patient for 1 hour. Wow. So I'm juggling between which one I will prioritize first. I only have one body, and they're pressuring me because they cannot do a reimbursement if I don't have a note by 11:30. And they only told me about it for 11. So those are some scenario of what is a typical day, deadlines and then unexpected things that your supervisor boss wants for you to finish or accomplish. These are just the reality of the workplace that we're living in, especially with the pandemic. I have some people tell me that it's very hard to unplug because most of the people are working from home nowadays. And they feel like unplugging is hard because they love that the less commute or no commute at all because if they're working remote. But it's hard to unplug, meaning sometimes you really tend to work more because you have a computer in front of you. Maybe if you have your office also in your bedroom. So those are just the stresses. And my third question, do you not get along with your supervisor most of the time? I'll be honest with you. I will probably, on my 15-year career, I have probably at least eight to 10 supervisors. And among all those, the one that I just do remember is only one person that really had our same values. We what do you call this? Affirm each other, and she listens to me. And among, let's say, eight, probably the seven, sad to say, I haven't been getting along with, because coming from a perspective, instead of me getting frustrated or angry with them, I'm also looking at the perspective that they have a boss, supervisor above them. And when that supervisor above them is pressuring them to perform, it rolls and trickles down to the people under them. And that's what's happened. I feel burnout. I need to perform, and they're increasing the productivity. I'm hearing with physical, occupational, and speech therapists in a skilled nursing facility, they're looking at 95% productivity, meaning time with the patient, and you don't have any more time to do for your documentation. And I'm hearing that they need to clock out to just finish the documentation, meaning I won't work for free. I'll be honest. I need my time. That's why I felt that way too. Like I'm doing notes for my whole Saturday. And instead of me resting and really, reconnecting with my family, that's just not my jam. I'll be honest with you. Anyway, so if you can relate to those questions, these episodes are for sure for you, not just for the healthcare realm, but being an employee in general. That's just how it is. So I cannot advise you, everyone, because everyone's situation is unique. But let me chop it off with some significant people that might be thinking of this moves, let's say next year. So the first one that I want to discuss is an employee that's planning a huge career move, let's say the year 2022, first quarter of next year, and not really looking for another job, but wanting to get out of that space where they're in right now and look for like a business endeavor or wanting to start on their own. So that's where I want to highlight this talk. So, are you thinking of a career move? That's my question. Are you thinking of a career move? Before moving on and figuring out what business you want to put up or a side hustle you want to start in, let me first give you this first tip. Before making any move, just if you're pondering this month, last year of 2021, and making a career move, let me go back to this across state that I've been teaching about, I think on the even on the third episode of this podcast. It's called Well. So going back on your on W, work out your big why. Again, work out your big why. Because when you know your big why, the how and the what will follow. If you know your big why, the how and the what will follow. And you should be clear on the big why. Last time I said you should be 75% ready, but with the why, I will probably be 101% clear of what you want to do or why you want to do it. The why is what I want you to give emphasis on, my friend. Because here's the thing, there's always a tendency for us to default back to what we're used to be. Before I jump in, and by the way, it's my first year of being an entrepreneur this December, so I'm very grateful for that. But during that journey of transitioning from a full-time employee to an entrepreneur, there's always a reason to go back. Okay? Like you have decided to do this, meaning there's no turning back. What might tempt you to turn back? The comfort of having a paycheck twice a month or every week, but trading your time for work. There's no such, there's no freedom at all. It's just technical trade off. You get tired, then you get paid. As simple as that. But when you know your big why am I doing this? Why do I need to have my own business, my side hustle, building my own brand? That will show you and give you leads towards what you want to start up and how you should do it. And there are a lot of people that are expert in a certain type of business. My expertise is building an LLC and physical therapy staffing. So if that is something that you're interested in, reach out to me at drfrancisdpt.com. So let's do that. Next, I'm talking about discipline. Before you make a move, I want you to exercise a healthy habit regularly. Because let's say waking up at 6 a.m. to start researching for your business. Go for a walk, 10 to 15 minutes a day. Just repeat, repeat, repeat. Why? Because you're training your mind to have a healthy habit because that is a key component for you to persevere during the startup of your business. The first year, I'll be honest with you, is the hardest. So you really need to exercise a good habit, maybe fast. Like don't eat anything after 6 p.m., just water, okay? Or as I said, go to the gym if you have the time. Go for it. It will release some, endorphins, good hormones for you to have a good idea. It will boost you up. Next, love your effort. Start loving your effort today. Here's the thing, changing your mindset. I will stay on my job for the meantime because that will fund my future. Think about it again. I have a 1 year plan, or let's say 6 month plan. I will save up some money, have, start up a capital, do a side hustle. But while waiting for it, I'll do my best on my job. I'm loving the job because it's funding the future. Think about it, right? That's how you do it. And you have a goal for yourself, let's say March of 2022. I want to get that LLC going. Here's the man. I know how to get you there without even taking a bank loan. Just starting up your name, your brand. We'll show you the ropes. And lastly, L, laugh hard and live a lot of gratitude. An attitude of gratitude is always a good thing because it enriches your soul. If ever you came to a point that you are about to leave your job, leave in a good notice. Make sure that you are on a good relationship with your former supervisor and coworkers because the healthcare realm or at other business is very small. To be honest, it's big, but people can get connected to people. You don't want to burn bridges, and they might help you with your endeavor too. Who knows, right? But leave professionally, my friend, and laugh hard. Let me give you a joke. Okay. How does NASA organize their party? The National Astronomic Services Association. Do I say it right? Again, my joke is, how does NASA organize their party? The answer, they plan it. It looks like I'm the only one who laugh on it. Anyway, I'm not a good joker. I'm a frustrated comedian. Okay. So, making a career move, this is what you should do first. Well, work out your big why. E, exercise a healthy habit regularly. L, love your effort. And H, laugh hard and live a lot of gratitude. Amazing. So I will cut you off. I know we're having a good conversation here, but next episode I will discuss it for the employee that wants to stay on their job. Okay? Because not everyone wants to have a career move. I get it. Okay? Business is not for everyone. But if you want to stay on your current employment or job, you should watch our next episode. Okay? So, As a banner cry here on Lead Well, be strong and courageous because you're not just called to lead, my friends, but to lead it well. Thank you and have a good week ahead.